welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to do my July wrap up. Now I have read 12 books, but I am actually currently reading 2 books, which means fingers crossed by the end of this month I would have read 14 books, which is the highest number I've ever read. The highest number before this was 9, so I have smashed it. So this month I was actually away for the beginning for 10 days ish at the beginning of July, and I've been working, so to say I've read this many books, I'm quite astounded. I also did get Kindle Unlimited in July, which is one of the reasons why I've read quite a few books, I think, due to the fact of Kindle Unlimited. So yeah, this is going to be my run through of all the books that I've read. I have my iPad here with all of the books I've read in the order I've read them and my reviews. I thought it'd be an easier way to do it. So I actually remember. So let's get started. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what is one of your favourite reads from July, and please hit the subscribe button to be subscribed for more content on here. I do book content. I'm going to be doing a lot more read along with me. I'm currently filming one now, and I'm also going to be sharing uni content. So when September starts, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I get up to at uni, what uni's like, answering your guys' questions about what uni is like. I'm going into my 3rd year, and as well what essentials you will need. I'm a graphic designer, so it'll be mainly based around graphic design, but yeah, I'm very excited. And we're also going to go book shopping for a few books that I will need for my course. So yeah, it's going to be fun, so please do subscribe, and let's get straight into this video. So the first book I read this month is Twisted Games by Anna Huang. I think I'm saying her last name right. So this is part of the Twisted series. This is the second one. The first one is Twisted Love. I read that in June, and this one is Twisted Games, and it's amazing. It's better than the first one, but I still like Alex and Ava. But this is a princess bodyguard romance. It's spicy, it's broody bodyguard, it's grumpy sunshine. Who doesn't love a princess and a bodyguard? I don't know. This entire series is based in the same dimension. So this is the Twisted series, and then it's based off the friends. So each one of the 4 books, because the final one has just come out, is Ava's friends. So it starts with Ava, then it's Bridget, then it's Jude, I think. I will let you know later on. And then it's Stella, I think. Don't quote me on all them. I haven't read the last 2, but they're in my August to be read. Anyway, so yeah, this is what this book's about. The books are based in the same universe. Anna Huang is also coming out with another series which is kind of based in the same universe, so you get these characters again. So I'd probably recommend to read these. These books are fantastic, easy reading, really nice. These are the proper ones, so you can get these on Amazon and on Waterstones, but be careful if you're going to buy these, because you need to make sure if you buy them on Amazon that is the publisher version, because the last one in the UK has only been come out as a publisher, but when these were first released she had to do them by herself. So it's very confusing. I will leave the proper links down below for you guys though for all these books. But yeah, this book was amazing. I gave this 4.75 out of 5. Neither of them 2 books have got 5 stars for me. I think I'm waiting, and I think it's going to be Twisted Lies that's going to get the 5-star from what people have said, but we don't know yet until I've read it. This was amazing. It's based starts off in America, and then they go to the country in Europe, and Bridget, she's not supposed to rule, but then basically her brother's like forfeits, and now she has to rule, and it's all about that, her dealing with that, the fact that she's fallen in love with the bodyguard is falling in love with her, and it's fantastic. Would highly recommend this book and this entire series. I love the Twisted world, and I cannot wait to carry it on. With series, I try and push not doing one after another, because I feel like I'll get a bit bored, but this series I kind of want to go straight into the next one, but I didn't because I was waiting for the final one. But yeah, this is so good. Then the next one I read was on my Kindle, which is on Kindle Unlimited, and that is Strictly Forbidden. This is the second one in the New York Playboys series. This is by J.A. Lowe, and this book is about one of the twins. So the first one is about Noah, and this one is about I've forgotten his name. This is right at the beginning of the month. Anyway, it's a really good series. Very easy reading, under 300 pages. I think it was about 200 and something, literally about 200 pages long. Really easy read. I read it to see if I still like the first one. The first one was better. I read that back in Feb. I literally read that book in a day while traveling, and yeah, easy series, would recommend if you want some easy reading. But you like, it's just kind of like, you know, them Kindle books, like getting Kindle Unlimited. It's kind of just one of those, and I quite enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5, so I must have. I know it was about things from the other series. The first one was mentioned because I linked basically the entire timeline of these books is at the same time, which is quite an interesting way of doing it. So basically it's different points of view from all the characters that are our friends and colleagues and stuff, but on the same timeline, but each book is about them people. So like you get bits from the first one, bits from this one, and it all kind of interjoins, and it's really, really interesting. Then the next book I read, I did have this as a physical copy, but I sold it because I'm keeping Kindle Unlimited. I didn't see the point in keeping it because I read the second one on Kindle Unlimited, so I sold it. And that is the Never King. It's already been sent, but yeah, that's a Never King, and that was my book club read, and now this was my first ever reverse harem. And after I read this book, you'll see a theme. This book is a dark retelling of Peter Pan. Now, this includes the Darlings' daughters on their 18th birthday getting kidnapped, going to Neverland, and trying to basically get their brains scrambled because Peter's trying to find a shadow. He doesn't have it. And it's about that, and it's a very short story. This is 190 pages. Sorry, my nose is running. It's about 190 pages. It is a brilliant book, very easy. Me and my friends have done a podcast on it. We started a podcast. If you didn't know, it's called The Awkward Bookworms. I'll put it here, and the link for that podcast will be down below. It's coming out on the Tuesday, so the day after this is released. But yeah, it's about that, and it's basically Spice with a bit of plot, and it's brilliant. The two books have kind of modded into one, but basically he's trying to get Shadow back. He has help from the Fae Queen, who is Tinkerbell's daughter, and it's about them. There is 5 boys, I'm pretty sure. Is it 5 boys or is it 4? There's Peter, Cass, what's his name, the twin of the other Fae, I forgot his name, it begins with B, Bash I think, and Vane. So there's 4 boys, and then there's Winnie, who is the character, and it basically starts off right from the bat, Spice. Basically, I'm pretty sure all of these books, I haven't read any YA books this month, so you need to be 18 plus. I'll put a disclaimer in at the beginning, but yeah, it's 4 on 1, and it's chef's kiss, and it's amazing, and it was my first ever reverse harem book, and I have found the light at the end of the tunnel, I think. Yeah, it's a really, really good book. Would highly recommend, and it's my first ever retelling, and now I want to read loads more retellings. I'm thinking of reading Hooked, possibly. It is on my list on my Kindle Unlimited to read, so yeah, it's a very good book. The next book I read was Breaking Free. This is the first one in a series. I got the third one as an arc, but it's already out now, so I'll link that down below. I got it as an arc, started reading it, didn't realise it was a third one in a series, and then I had to read the first 2, and because I read them one after another to try and read the third one, I just didn't want to read the third one. I don't want to read it anymore because I binge read it. But Breaking Free, in my personal opinion, it was better than the second one anyway, and basically it's trigger warnings. Trigger warnings are at the beginning of the book, but there is sexual assault involved, there is sex scenes, obviously, it's human trafficking, pimps, yeah, always check trigger warnings before reading books. But yeah, this book was dark, very, very dark and interesting. I liked it. There was murder involved, there was revenge, and it was a very good read. I gave it 4 out of 5. Oh, by the way, with the Never King, I also gave that one 4 out of 5. But yeah, I gave this one 4 out of 5. It was very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I would recommend but just check trigger warnings. And then the next one was Fractured Chances. This one, after the first one, like the first one was so good, and then the second one was like small town, kind of linking on, finding out more about the characters, but it was just a bit dull. These books aren't very long, they're about 200 pages, but this one was just, to me, dull. I literally started reading other books. I was like not interested in it. I didn't really like it. The way it ended, yeah, but it was just, it was like a middleman to the final book, if you know what I mean. And I'm not about that. Like, if the middle one isn't good, I'm not going to read the next one, and that's what's happened. But yeah, I gave it 3.5 out of 5. I would personally read the first one. If you want to read the next one, read it, but realistically, like, it just ruins the first book, and I don't know how they've done that. But yeah, the next book I read was The Spanish Love Deception by Eleanor Arms. I get what TikTok's on about with this book. So basically, this book is about Catalina. I'm not going to say a Spanish name. She's from Spain, but she lives in America currently. And then this is Adam Blackford. And basically, they're part of an IT firm. She works her butt off to get where she is. And the men are like, one of the men is like very sexist, basically. And this is Adam, and he kind of like, it's Grumpy Sunshine. It's very Grumpy Sunshine. And he goes to her and goes, she needs a date for her sister's wedding, because she's gone, oh yeah, I've got a boyfriend, an American boyfriend, to her parents, and everyone believes her, so she has to prove it. And Adam's like, I'll do it. And then basically, yeah, they start fake dating, and then yeah, things happen. This is a slow burn. Oh my days, this is a slow burn. I gave this 3.5 stars out of 5. This is such a slow burn. I was like, what's going to happen? When are you going to get to Spain? Basically, everything happens in the last 200 pages, and this is a like 260 page book, and everything happens in the last like 200 to 250 pages, and I'm not about that. I like they could have shortened this by about 100 pages. I'm not joking. Like 350 page book would have been great for this, because they didn't need the way it was. Also, it starts really weird. Like, it starts straight in, and I was reading it, I was like, what's going on? Because I thought the book was in the wrong places. I won't lie, like, it just went straight in. Some people, like, I was a bit confused at the beginning, and then I got into it, but then it took me so long to read it, because I was like, what? This is slow. Like, slow. Shorten it by 100 pages, make it a bit snappier, and I would have loved it. I did, in fact, in the end, semi-like it, but the beginning just wasn't it for me. I'm nervous to read any more books by her. I like a slow burn, but if it's a slow burn, I prefer it in a shorter book, because I'm too slow. However, I'm going to read The Winnie Pig and Me soon. I think that's what it's called. I'll put it, yeah, anyway, and that's apparently a really slow burn and over 500 pages, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, this was too slow for me. No, I'm actually selling this currently in my Vinted, because I was like, I'm not keeping it, I'm never going to read it again. And yeah, so that's that book. The next book I read was not the entire book set, before you say anything. It was A Court of Thorns and Roses. I started the audiobook in June, 1st of June. Didn't finish it. I had 21 days to finish it. Didn't finish it. Had to wait till I get home. Then I finished the last like 100 or so pages. Probably not even that. The reason it's still in here is because I actually got I had duplicates of the first two. I was very kindly gifted this box and the first two. I didn't realise my friend had bought me this set. She didn't tell me for my birthday, and she gave my birthday present like months afterwards, just because we hardly see each other. But I got the box set. So what I've been doing is I've been reading these two, because I've got these two, and keeping these ones in nice copies, and then I'm selling the other two. So this one's sold, that's why I can't show you that copy. But it is Sarah J Maas, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and this book, boy was it slow. The beginning, I don't like world building at all. It's why I can't get into fantasies that are based in another world. Don't know why, just don't like world building. And so I listened to an audiobook, and I was like, right, this is great. Kept falling asleep. I fall asleep at audiobooks because I listen to them to help me sleep. and so I kept having to go back and forth because I kept falling asleep. But actually in the end I loved it. I like Tamlin currently, and I like Rhysand. I have a feeling from what I've heard in BOOKTOK and from what I've heard from my friend Danny that Rhysand and Tamlin's going to do something in this book and Rhysand's going to come out on top, and I'm looking forward to that because I do really like Rhysand. But yeah, I've read that. I'm very excited for the next one. Me, Keris and Danny are actually going to buddy read the next one. It's Danny's favourite one. Me and Keris haven't read it. We've both only just read ACOTAR and Roses. So as a group, it is my little trio because we do the podcast together. We're going to read ACOTAR and Roses next month. Fingers crossed, we need to actually speak about it. But yeah, that's the plan. But yeah, that's why it's still in the box, because I'm trying to keep them in perfect condition. But as well, I don't have space to like take them out of the box, and the box is really pretty, like look how cute it is. So yeah, that's just how I'm starring them. But yeah, ACOTAR and Roses, I gave it, what did I give it? I gave it 3.75 out of 5. The beginning, literally the first like 60%, nah, not for me. Not for me. The last like 30-40% was great. So yeah, I cannot wait for the next one. Apparently the next one is the superior one, so I'm very looking forward. Then after ACOTAR, I read and finished in like a day the Dark One, and that's amazing. That's about 209 pages. Don't know why I remember the exact pages. Anyway, that was incredible. It followed along from the Nether King. You literally could read all 3 of them one after another because it feels like one book, literally. The way one finishes, it starts the exact same. It's literally like a carry-on, but it could have just been put into one book, to be honest. Oh my god, the Dark One. We learn more about Thane. We learn more about Thane's family. We learn who Cherry is and about more Hook, and like Hook's involved in. Oh my god, it's incredible. I finished that book, and the way it finishes on a cliffhanger, I literally went straight into my Bookstagram and was like, tagged the off and was like, can I have an arc? Because I need an arc for the next one. I have to wait till the 1st of September. I have to wait till the 1st of September. I'm going to have a month left on Monday till I can read this book. And oh my god, I'm excited. These books are so good. Literally, the spice and the plot is fantastic. I loved learning about Thane. If you want to hear more about it and you've read it, go watch the podcast. I'm trying not to spoil it here. But yeah, you learn who Cherry is and what's happened in the past, and about Winnie's mother more. And oh, chef's kiss, loved it. I gave that one 4 out of 5 again. No books have really like hit the spot on the 5 this month. For the first time. Last month I read a lot that were 5s, so yeah. Then the next book I read, oh, I forgot to bring that one down. I'm a mess today, you can just tell. It was just up there, so it's fine. The next book I read was Throttled by Lauren Asher. I was very kindly gifted this by Elle, who I am doing her cover for her book. That is linked down below for you guys, of course. And this is the first one in the Dirty Air series. I actually read this on my Kindle because when I was trying to read this, the white pages, my dyslexia was just like, love, no, not happening. But yes, so I read Throttled by Lauren Asher. This book I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was amazing. This is F1, and it was brothers' rival turned into best friend. I was like, yes, but it's brother's rival, and it's F1. They're traveling around the world. She's an influencer and she's learning about them and the F1 atmosphere and just about like life in general. She's just finished university, she's just getting out there, learning a lot about herself. Oh my days, this book was incredible. This is Mia and Noah. Noah literally looks like one of the F1 racers, like that is his fan cast, and it's great. It's got me back into F1 because apparently my mother said when I was a kid I used to love F1. I used to sit and watch it all the time. Can't remember this. But yes, it's got me back into F1. I cannot wait to carry on the series. Like, it's just, the books are stunning. Cannot wait to carry on the series. I might just carry them on KU, and then when I have chance buy the physical copies. But yeah, loved it so much. Cannot wait to carry this on, and I've heard amazing things from people. I know one of them is a forbidden romance, and I'm very looking forward to that one because that is my favourite type of genre. If you didn't know, yeah, forbidden romance is the one for me. The next 2 books are in the series, so we're going to put them together. So I then, after that, started Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas, and this book is a hefty book. I didn't actually read it because, again, it's not yellow, but it's not white pages. I don't know what colour they are. They're like a cream. Anyway, my dyslexia was like, this is intimidating, let's read on KU. So that's what I did. I read it on my Kindle. This took me a week and a half to read. Because this book at the beginning, no, boring. Like, where was the suspense? Like, I think because in Corrupt, it was like off the bat suspense, like what we're gonna be doing. All the boys were together, and I think because that book was all 4 of them were together, there was so much suspense. There was a common goal, like this was happening, that was happening. After that book, like Hideaway were like not the same vibe, good but not the same vibe, and then this one, no. The end, yes. The end, yes. The end made me happy for Damien, because this is Damien's book with Winter, and oh my days, it made me happy. But I didn't like Damien in the first 2 books, so I was a bit sceptical, and then I warmed up to him. I like him now. He's not my fave. I have a feeling Willie's going to be. I think I like the Grayson cousins, to be honest. But yeah. This book didn't need to be this long. Let's be honest, it really did not need to be this long. It could have been like Hideaway thickness. This is like 670 pages or something ridiculous, and it really didn't need to be this long at all. But it's a fantastic book. You obviously need to read it to read Will's book, so I had to read it, because if you don't read this one, then none of them make sense, and they say they're standalones when really they're not. They're like, everything is intertwined. So if you don't read the first one and the second one and then you read this one, everything's just messed up. But I'm very happy for Damien in this book. He finally opens up about things we learned about in Hideaway, which I'm happy about, and everyone's semi-happy, and yeah. Then Conclave, which is straight for this one. This is 100 pages. However, one thing annoys me about this book. So in the back, right in the back, after you finished the novella, which is about 80 pages, there's this little section here, this little novella. This is another novella. Read this one first, then read this one, because this one is 10 months before this one. So for things to make a bit more sense, if somebody would have told me this, everything would have made more sense. This, because once you finish this one, you have to read this bit because of the epilogue. The epilogue from this basically carries on to this. So read it, Kill Switch, go to the end of Conclave, read this little novella, which is literally about 30 pages long, and it is, this scene takes place about 10 months after the end of Kill Switch and about a year before Conclave. So with it being 10 months after this, read this one, read this little 30-page novella, then read the novella for Conclave, and everything will make more sense. Why in the beginning didn't she tell you to read it in that order? I don't know. I would recommend to read it in that order, because that would make the most sense to my brain if you like reading things in chronological order like I do. So yeah, read Kill Switch, go to the end of this one, which is on page 80. Go to the end of page 80, carry it on, read the next bit, the last 30 pages, then go to the beginning and read Conclave, and everything will make more sense. But yeah, these books were amazing. I think I gave this one 3.5, yeah, 3.75 I think. Yep, I gave this one 3.75 and I give this one 4 out of 5. This one was better because it had my favourite character in it. Oh, by the way, this has Misha Black included, so if you've not read Punk 57, read Punk 57, because in these two you need to, because Misha is included. Misha is my favourite. Oh, Misha is my favourite Penelope Douglas. Actually my favourite character of all. So when he was mentioned, I was literally screaming. If you want content of whenever I see Misha Lark in these books, I always add it to my story. So yeah, Misha was included in both these books and it made my day. I think that's why I was like, I liked the end, because that's when Misha was included. I was like, Misha. But yeah, you need to read Punk 57 though before reading. So I would probably read Corrupt, Punk 57, Hideaway, Killswitch, Conclave, Nightfall, Fire Night. That's how I would read them. Just because end of Punk 57 kind of ruins Corrupt. But you could read Corrupt, Punk 57. You need to read Punk 57 before reading these because Misha is involved and you kind of need to know a little bit about Misha and like what happened in that book. I'm not going to spoil Punk 57 for you guys, but yeah, that's the reading order I would do it in. I read Punk 57 first and then the end was like mentioned the guys from the Devil's Night, which is why I was like, Devil's Night, gotta read that now. So yeah, that's how I would read it personally. Don't know if you guys want to read it like that, but that's how I would recommend. Then the book I'm on and doing a reading vlog of currently is Tessa Bailey, my Killer Vacation. I'm currently on page 136. This is about 290 page book. I picked this because it's a short little read. I'm going to try and finish this before the first, so fingers crossed I do. And this is about the space in Cape Cod in America. It's a summer read and this is about, it's got a murder involved, it's got a bounty hunter involved, romance, smut. The smut has been chef's kiss, but nothing's actually happened yet, but like the leading up and like, yeah, it's really good. And this girl is helping the bounty hunter out and she listens to a lot of true crime podcasts and it's great. I love the character. It's an elementary school teacher and a bounty hunter. If you do want to also read it, I would recommend to buy it just for this cover. Like this cover is chef's kiss. Elle very kindly got this for me and I'm so happy. I've wanted to read this for ages and I've been putting it off because I've only read one Tessa Bailey book and that was not in dual point of view, and basically all these books I've read apart from The Spanish Love Deception was in dual point of view. I'm a dual point of view kind of girl, and this one is in dual point of view. So when I was like reading it, I was like, oh, dual point of view. I was so happy. And this is Taylor is the elementary school teacher and Miles is the bounty hunter. So who doesn't want to read a romance about an elementary school teacher and a bounty hunter trying to solve a murder case? It's also not scary murder, by the way. It's very nice, lovely kind of murder. Not, the murder wasn't lovely, but like it's not like a thriller kind of one, which is what I like, because I cannot read thrillers. I can watch murder, like murder TV programs, can't read it, but this is like a lovely in between because I do like them, but I can't read them, so this is a nice in between for myself. Tessa Bailey knows what she's doing. Then the next book I'm reading is Drive by Kate Stewart. I've got this on my Kindle. This is my Kindle. This is my dad's very battered 10-year-old Kindle that I'm currently reading on. I'm just seeing if I like a Kindle currently. I'm loving it. I'm gonna just keep using that one for a few more months. If I do love it, I might get myself the new one. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm currently on chapter 3 or something. I'm only really reading it in work because I've got so many physical books to get through, but I'm gonna get to it soon. I'm nervous for it. There's a love triangle like there is in Flock, i.e. I'm nervous. Flock destroyed me, that Ravenhood series. Boy, did it destroy me. I'm reading Drive, and then the newest one, Reverse, is actually out. That's about her son, and a decade later. This is based in 2005, Drive, and I'm really interested. It's a music journalist, and I know one of them's a billionaire and one of them's a musician who's in the love triangle and just like sort of life out and decide. It's so far so good. Each chapter starts off with a song, so you're supposed to listen to the song whilst reading it. I've not been doing that due to the fact of being in work and I can't really read and listen because I'm doing it right before work or at lunch and stuff, and I keep forgetting my headphones because I'm a spoon. So yeah, but so far amazing. I will keep you guys up to date on it. If you want to be kept up to date on the books I'm reading and what I'm enjoying, do follow me on my TikTok, because I post on there regularly, on my Instagram, which I'll put down below, as well as my podcast. I do chat about quite a few books on my podcast with my friends. So yeah, they're all the books I've read. Like I said, I'm pretty sure 12. Let me just double check. So I've read 11 books, sorry, and I'm on my 12th and 13th book. That's why I was getting confused. So yeah, that's how many books I've read this month, and it's a good reading month. I read a lot of good books, none 5 stars. However, I have a feeling My Killer Vacation will be up there with a 5-star. So yeah, they're the books that I read. Please do let me know any of your opinions on them books. And I'm now going to do a quick run through. Of all of the books I'm wanting to read in August. This is not including my KU books. This is just my physical books. And I've got 5 of them. We have a theme going on, I think. And I think the theme is the colour green. These are my selection. So let's go through them. The first one is Bully by Penelope Douglas. This is the first one in the Fall Away series. Me and my friend Danny are going to read it, and it sounds really good. It's bully romance, a bit like Punk 57, The Devil's Night. There's F1 involved, bully romance, Penelope Douglas. What else do you want? I think she's one of my favourite authors. I'm literally wanting to read all of her books. The next book is ACOTAR, Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Like I said, me and my friend are going to read this together, so that's why I picked this one up. This is actually the copy my friend got me, so as soon as I've read it, this will be up on my Vinted to be sold. I'm going to try and be really careful and not break the spine and stuff, but yeah, I'm very looking forward to this. I'm scared because the writing is bloody small, and obviously I struggle with that, but fingers crossed I like it, and I'm very excited to learn more about Rhysand. The next one is the final 2 in the Twisted series, and that is Twisted Hate and Twisted Lies. This I've just got on Thursday, and I cannot wait for it. I'm very excited. So Twisted Hate is about Josh, who is Ava's brother, and Ava's best friend Jules. I was correct with Jules, thank God for that. And Jules is a redhead who is fiery, and it's obviously Twisted Hate. They don't like each other. It's enemies to lovers, and also brother's best friend. And then this one is Twisted Lies, and this is Christine Harper, which is Reese's boss, which is linked to the Twisted Games. This is why you need to read them in order, because everything's like interlocked. And this is about Stella. I was correct with the names, thank God for that. And I'm pretty sure it's like forced environment, like forced to be close. I forgot what that trope is. Anyway, they're forced to like be close. He like gives them money, well, helps her like live in the apartment and stuff like that. So these boys are thick. They're very thick, but I'm very excited to read them both. Yeah, so these are the next 2. I'm so excited to read them. And the final one is Hothhouse Flower by Krista and Becca Riches. Now this is Rikes and Daisy's book. I was talking to my friend about it because obviously in the series, like, Daisy's underage or just turning of age, but this is when she is of age, because obviously Rike is like 22, 23, and so this is when he is of age, and I'm very excited for it. They say like he was literally, apparently he says like, oh, I'm not gonna get with her till she is of age, so this must be that book. This is my friend's favourite book of all time, and I had to, these books are cheap. I ordered them from Book Depository, accidentally ordered the wrong ones. I ordered the Australian ones. They were cheaper, and I was like, oh, that's great. Oh no, I ordered the wrong ones, so I had to go back, cancel the order, and got them from Amazon. They're not cheap at all. This was about 15 quid, and then the next one after was also about 15 quid, but trying to get the nice new covers, so I'm just spending it. But yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I need to get reading this series. I started the series about 3 months ago, and basically I'm slowly buying them over time, slowly reading them. And yes, I want to read this one. I'm basically reading one a month, and there is 10 of them, so that's going to take me 10 months to read. Plus this bad reputation at the end, so that's 11 books. That's basically, I'm going to try read like 1 or 2 a month. It's so expensive to buy them, and I can get them on, if they were on KU, I would just read them on KU and then buy them. But they're not on KU, so I'm not going to do that because I don't see the point of buying it on my Kindle and then buying it physical form. So I'm just going to bite the bullet at some point and buy 2 at a time and just spend the money, because like 2 of them are like 20 quid a piece. They're not cheap, let me tell you that. But yeah, very excited to read this. Once I have the whole collection, I'm going to be the happiest person ever. So I've got this one to read, which is Hothhouse Flower at Thrive, which I've got. Then it's Addicted After All, and then Fuel the Fire, Long Way Down, and then Some Kind of Perfect, which is a epilogue, and then Bad Reputation. So yeah, this is my final one. I love this cover. I love how all the covers match, like this one and Thrive, literally one after another. They're both greens and it makes me so happy. So yeah, they're the books that I'm going to be reading in August, fingers crossed, as well as obviously my KU books. So if you want to be kept up what I'm reading, don't forget to check out my Instagram, my TikTok, keep updated with the podcast, because obviously, oh, I forgot, the other 2 books I'm going to be reading are my book club reads, which we're going to be doing podcast episodes on. We're going to be reading as a book club Indigo Ridge. However, there's a novella beforehand, which is a prequel, which is Christmas in Quincy, which obviously is a Christmas book, and it is August we're going to be reading it in. But basically we want to read them in the correct order for you guys, so that when we do the podcast on it, we're not just doing a podcast in the wrong order. So we're going to be reading Christmas in Quincy and then Indigo Ridge, as you can see on my Kindle. And yeah, we're going to be doing a podcast on them. We're also going to be doing a book club chat, so if you want to join the book club, the link is in my Discord. I still need to do the Never King one. I still need to sort that out. I just haven't had time. But yeah, that's the plan of action. And yeah, I hope you do join along. Everything will be linked down below, of course. Either what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put them all into an Amazon wish list kind of thing, and then or I'll sort something out. I'll find a way of sorting it out, because I don't know how people do it. Otherwise I would leave links, but sometimes a lot of the links leave up a lot of room, and I will find a way of dealing with it. But yeah, if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your favourite book of this month, or a book you want to read next month, or any of these books, like what you guys think. Just comment them down below. Let's have some conversations, and please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on my next video.